All right, let's do a test. Is this working? Can you hear me? Are we good? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you see me? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Let's get some. Hey, we're live, or give me some feedback. I see myself, so let me know if that's working. We're on a couple minutes early, just to make sure that the tech got figured out. But if you see me, if you hear me, let me know. Pop it in the chat. Let me see. Can I pull out the chat? Ooh, I can make the chat closer here. Okay, hold on. This is good. This is good. Hello, we are live. All right, everybody. How we doing? Happy Thursday. Look at the chat coming in. I'm going to move you over here a little bit. This is awesome. Lacey in the house. Look at all these people. You guys are amazing. Olula, I'm hype ever. Idris, Anil, Wheels and Warriors. We just were hanging out. The Breakup Cure, Lacey, Happy XS, Zenya, Anil, Ars. Look at this. Amazing. Hey, guys. Okay, we're going to start in 3 minutes. We're going to start. I went live a little early just to make sure that it worked. And we're here. Look at this. This is the first time I got live in a couple years, I think, on this main channel. Guys, I go live, man, I don't know, almost every day somewhere. But YouTube Live has not been a main platform for me, so that, you know what, it's been a while. Let's come and go live. Let's talk about some thought leadership content. Let's talk about helping you build your movement. I've been doing a lot of work helping people inside Movement Makers build their movement. I thought, you know what, let's share, let's get some tidbits and share with you guys as well, for anybody who's an aspiring thought leader who wants to build your brand, build your following, make a business out of it. That's I'm gonna share with you the template. I'm gonna share with you the template, and then get your questions ready. Because my favorite thing in this is always talking to you guys. I love making it about who is in here, not just hear myself talk, because I already know this stuff. I want to help you guys. I'm rolling up the sleeves. We're getting ready. We got 2 minutes before the official start. I got my now water here, ready to go. I would love to know, where are you guys from? Pop in the chat. Where are you from? So Sil is from the Netherlands. Wow. Okay. Good. Yo, what's up? I'm a dancer. Okay. Cool. I do some salsa dancing. That's how I met Nina. Where are you from? Okay, here we go. Montreal in the house. Canadian, I love it. Haiti, London, New York, India, Morocco, Baltimore, Barcelona, Hamburg, Vegas, Brooklyn, Tampa, California, Texas, Lima, Peru, Dallas, New York City, South Florida. Oh, you're making me jealous with South Florida. We got snow here in Toronto. It's crazy. South Florida, a bunch of my friends are in Miami right now at an event, and the pictures make me jealous. Australia, UK, Michigan, Chicago, Detroit, Arizona, Nigeria. I missed most of it. No, William, you haven't missed anything. We haven't even started. This is the warm up. This is just to make sure that it actually worked. I haven't streamed to this channel in years, and I'm using new software I haven't used before. So the risk factor of something going wrong was pretty high, but it worked first time. Imagine that. What else? Bahamas, Trinidad, Romania, India, Ohio, Mauritius, Portugal, Australia, Texas, Miami. Man, Australia, what time is it there for you? You're up crazy early. You're going to bed crazy late. Rwanda, Virginia, Belgium, Calgary, fellow Canadian, I love it. New Jersey, Atlanta, Sorocaba in Spain. Nice. Sunshine here in Trinidad and Tobago. Toronto in the house. Hey, Toronto. Arizona, Pittsburgh. What are you using? This is OBS. So just OBS. It's very simple. It's my screen. I guess my screen shows up over here. No, it's over here. My screen shows up over here for you guys. And then I'm just talking to the camera, setting up through OBS. This is very basic. I mean, you can do all sorts of crazy, complicated things, but this is just to get started. Just very basic stuff. Believer Town, Manny Romero. I love it. He's part of Believe Nation. Let's go. Zambia. Woohoo, let's go, says Zan the Man. Zan was just doing an amazing session inside our readers group for people who bought Built to Serve. Got it. What amazing people. Nashville, Kazakhstan. Toronto gang showing up. I like it. Durban, South Africa. YouTube is pushing live again. You don't usually go live. No, YouTube isn't pushing live. I'm experimenting. I haven't been big on YouTube Live, and I've been telling people don't do YouTube Live. Instagram Live, TikTok Live, not YouTube Live. But listen, I have to keep testing, right? That's part of what I do. When I'm training people, I have to keep eating my own dog food and keep testing to know where we're at. So we are at time. We are at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, and I guess you guys are all over the place. So welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Great to have you on board. Today I want to talk about building your movement. And I want to talk about becoming a thought leader and sharing your ideas with the world about building a following and turning it into a business. Because if you're part of Believe Nation, then you have a big heart and you have a story that matters and you want to spread it with the world. And that's what today's session is going to be about. Now, I go deep. There's a link there. It says /movement, my website /movement. That's part of Movement Makers. I'm going to share with you a slide from Movement Makers. That's my training that I do twice a month. And we're going to take from there a little bit. And if you want to join, you can. But otherwise, there's going to be lots of value just in here in sharing. And bring your questions. Get them ready. We love Evan live, says Zanderman. Get your questions ready, and I'm going to address them as we go through. So for anybody who's starting on social media, it can be really, really, really hard to get going. And why I made this the graphic is because I wanted you to see my journey. So if you look at the top, that's me. That's my first video. Look at Evan in a suit. I was so nervous. I was so scared. I had my mom in the office with me, giving me direction. I had my friend film me. And I was just terrified to make a video. How many minutes is this live? I don't know. We'll see how long it goes. We'll see. You love Movement Makers. Thank you, lady. Appreciate you. So I was so scared. I just wanted to put out content. You know, when I started on YouTube back in 2009, it wasn't really a thing to be an influencer or to be a thought leader. I didn't know what it meant, apart from I wanted to try to share stories that mattered. I wanted to try to impact people. And I later discovered that your purpose comes from your pain, that, right? The thing that you struggled the most with as a human is what you want to help other people through. And so I struggled so much as an entrepreneur that I just wanted to try to make the path a little bit easier. And 19-year-old Evan was the worst day of my life when I quit on my business partners. And luckily I went back to keep going because I'd be in a totally different spot if I didn't. And I'm really making the content still now for 19-year-old Evan. I mean, even this live stream. This is live. This is not a replay. This is live proof. Lady Lexi says, love Movement Makers. Oops, did I miss some of the chat? Hold on. What did I miss in the chat? Posh Notion says, Movement Makers fam. Will this live be available on this will not be on replay. This is not replay. So this is going unlisted after this. So if you miss it, you miss it. Anyway, so I just wanted to get my message out there. And I think a lot of you have a message that needs to get out there, and you're afraid and you're scared. And what if people see it? What if people don't see it? And that holds us back. That keeps us stuck. That keeps us playing small. And I'm passionate about getting that message out there because we often look to people like Oprah or Tony Robbins or whoever these big people are, where I think your message can actually have a huge impact on people, because people may not connect to Oprah or they may not connect to Tony Robbins, but they can connect to you because you know exactly what they're going through because you have gone through it, right? And so really who you're making content for is the person who you used to be. The you from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago, that's who you're making content for. And they desperately need your help. So I still make content for 19-year-old Evan. And you can see some of the slow growth, guys. Some of the slow growth. For some reason, I only hear you one speaker. That's probably a setting that I need to fix. So we're probably not going to make that happen today. But yes, that's a software issue. If I do this again on another live, we will fix that. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you. Tay Wood says, Timo was the best champ. I agree. That's a League of Legends shout out and reference. I'm glad I'm here. You snooze, you lose. Thank you for this live. Cool. How do you get people to notice you? Well, this is what we're talking about, right? How do you get people to notice you is you have to share your story. And your story will mean a lot more to somebody who is going through exactly what you went through. So if I'm talking about being an entrepreneur, if I'm talking about being introverted or shy, or I'm talking about getting started on YouTube, right? If I show you this graph and I'm trying to help you get going on YouTube, this is actually a lot more inspiring than listening to somebody who might just give you a motivational message but hasn't done the journey, right? They're not on YouTube. They're not building a following. They're not turning it into the same kind of business that you want to do. And so your message needs to be something that will inspire other people who are currently right now struggling with the thing that you struggled through. So this is my journey, and I put this up here, one, to have some fun, and you can laugh at younger Evan who was in a suit, and I felt you had to have a suit to be professional and nobody would take you seriously. You know how wrong I was. And this first video I struggled so much with. I tried to memorize it. I was so afraid of getting the wrong word that I memorized as much as I could, but I suck at memorizing. So most of the video is actually just B-roll with me reading. And then when it cuts to me on video, they're memorized lines. Had a little bit more hair than now. And yeah, that was the start. Go back April 2009. And you can see the journey. And it took me a long time to get going. You know, I think a lot of people would quit. If you think in year 4, I still had 700 subscribers. Some of you guys are saying, actually, I'd love to know in the chat, how long have you been on this journey with me? Like, how long have you been following my channel or subscribed to the channel, been part of Believe Nation? How long have you been in there? Pop it in the chat. Put a year in. I'd love to see what comes up for you guys, just as a reference point for me. I'm assuming most people are newer. Right? There aren't that many people. Only 25 people are with me in 2009. Andrews has just started 1 year, about 2 months, 1 year. Okay, so we got 2 years. 2013, Wheels and Warriors. You're one of the 2000. Look at that. 6 months, a year. 2018, says Drew. 2014, 2021. Okay, from day one. No, that is a lie, Zandaman. You are not in the first 25. That is a lie, Zandaman. But I love you guys. Thank you. And it's great. So some brand new people, some people who've been a little more hardcore. I appreciate you guys. It's been definitely a fun ride and just more exciting things to come. So this is just to show you, hopefully, some inspiration that you just keep going. You just keep making. Don't expect to be amazing out of the gate. And I think your journey can be a lot faster than mine. I had no role models. I was too afraid to ask for help. I was too afraid to share my story. Like, I had a lot of things that just kept me from being me. I'm still introverted. I'm still shy. So doing live streams always gives me, you know, little heart palpitations, but you guys are amazing. And I want to make this path a little bit easier. So if this is your goal, we might get to more general questions at the end, but I'd love to focus in on thought leadership. You have a message, you want to get it out to the world, and I want to help speed up that process for you to get you to here a little faster, right? This is why I do Movement Makers. What did Lady Lex say? A year of Movement Makers, or when we danced at Brendan's. Yeah. So Movement Makers, I go deep in training on this, but I want you to leave this session with value to help you just get there faster, because a lot of people just quit. To think about, would you do this? I'm in year 4 and only have 700 subscribers. A lot of you guys are already ahead of me, and they quit here. They quit anywhere along the line here because you feel like it's not working. And it just saddens me if you have a really big message and you want to get it out to the world and you're not getting the growth and the attention that you think you should have. Because the more people who can see your stuff, yes, you can build a business and make lots of money with it, but more important is impact, that you're touching people. That because somebody found your video on the right day, maybe that saves their life. I've had that happen to me. I've had people say, your video saved my life. And I'm just talking about entrepreneurship. You know, the stuff you guys talk about could be much deeper, much more profound, but you have to have the courage to share your story and get it out there and be taking the actions. You know, this is, I was taking action. The one thing I had going for me was I was making content, but I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I was scared. I was very hard on myself for the quality that was being put out. I thought every video sucked. It took me 350 videos until I wasn't completely embarrassed by myself. 350 videos. I couldn't watch it back. So the only good thing I had going for me was I kept going. But 350 videos that I was too embarrassed to watch it back. And then 700 videos, 700 public videos until I thought I was starting to get good. Like, wow, you know what? I'm getting good at this. Like, that was a pretty good video. Like, for the first time, compliment myself a little bit. 700 videos in. Healing Vibe says, you're awesome. I appreciate you. I love it. Luke says, I hit 1,000 in 7 months. See, Luke hit 1,000 in this first year. I'm still stuck at 25. Good job, Luke. That's amazing. Camila says, Evan, you are great, especially when you're spontaneous. I appreciate you, Camila. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here early as well. So I want to share with you something that I've shared inside my Movement Makers program. And I'm just going to share one slide. We're going to talk about it. And it's a thought leadership success map. It's how can you start winning as a thought leader. And I want to give you some examples and talk through it. And if you have questions as we go, pop it down in the chat and hopefully end with even more questions and then more broad questions if there's something that you want to talk about that's not related to thought leadership and getting your message out there. What made you keep going with making videos, says Charles? That's actually a great question. Let me address that before moving on to the slide. Why keep going? I I kept going. One, because I felt like what I was doing mattered. You know, here we've got a couple hundred people watching live. Awesome. Hey, I love you. Thank you for popping in. But if it's 200 or 20 or 2,000, it feels like what I do matters, right? In all of your comments, I mean, a lot of people are watching, haven't even left a comment yet. That's okay. I still love you. But for people who are leaving comments, it's like, it feels like this matters. It feels like what I do matters. And when you feel like when you wake up today, the thing you're going to do is going to matter, it's going to mean something to somebody, then you're more likely to show up, right? You're more likely to have energy. You're more likely to keep going. You're more likely to keep putting your thing out there because you feel like it's going to matter. And when you feel like what I think most of the world feels like, where they wake up and they drive to a job that they hate, you feel like today doesn't matter. You feel like nobody cares if you show up or not. You feel like you're just a cog in a machine. And as a result, what happens, that leads to stress and anxiety and depression and suicide in the worst cases. Someone who's depressed feels like they don't matter. Feels like nobody cares about them. Feels like it wouldn't matter if I did anything today or not, right? That's depression. But if you felt like, no, today is going to mean something to somebody, maybe not the world, maybe not where we want to be yet, right? I'm at 3 million subscribers. Why am I not at 10 or 30 or 50 or 100, right? I mean, that game never ends. But as long as you feel like you've hit and touched one person's life, this live is a great example. Like, I feel more connected to what I do by just chatting with you guys here. Then I got another 300,000 views on my video yesterday, or whatever the number is, right? I don't know what that means. 3 million subscribers, I don't know what that means. That's almost the size of my city, Toronto. It's bigger than some countries, but I don't know how to quantify that. But being here with you guys and seeing the love makes me feel like, hey, this actually does matter. So that was the key, is I always felt like what I did mattered. And the second thing, also really important, is I always focus on who I did have instead of who I didn't have. And I think this is what holds a lot of people back, is you focus on who you're not reaching. I only have 1,000 subscribers. I only have 10,000 subscribers. Or this post didn't get as many views as that last post. And this video struggled compared to my other video. You're always focused on what you don't have. And if you're stuck in that land of lack, always just focus on what you don't have, that's a problem. You don't grow. You don't win. You're not happy. Right? So I always focus on who I did have. And so these 25 subscribers in my first year, it's like, I love you guys. You guys watching here, I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you. Right? And then that connects back to feeling like what you do matters. So I'll use an example of, I had 100 subscribers by the second year. Great. If you were to go give a speech, if Luke here, has 1,000 subscribers in 7 months, if he may think, well, that's nothing compared to I want to have 10,000 or 100,000. Great. But if you were to go give a speech and there was 1,000 people in the room, right? 1,000 people showed up. How nervous would you be? How excited would you be? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Would you be? It'd be crazy, right? You would love it. And yet, because it's online, for some reason, feels like it's meaningless. It's nothing. Other people are bigger than you, better than you. And so you quit. And that's a big problem. And so I would always flip it and just focus on who I do have, who I am serving, the people who are live watching this right now. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm only focused on you guys right now. Not, oh my gosh, I wish I had 20,000 people tuning into the live stream right now, right? So as long as you can focus in on that, it gives you the momentum to keep going. And I've done 12,000 or so videos over 12 years. Not all of them are public. And people ask me, well, how do you not burn out? Right? Some people are asking in the comments too, like, how do you not burn out? How do you deal with burnout? Well, you don't burn out from stuff that you love, right? Like if you love the thing you were doing and you felt like it was meaningful and helping other people, it's really hard to burn out. Do I need a break sometimes? Sure. Is all I do make videos? No. I have other hobbies. I, salsa dance with my wife, etc. There's lots of things going on, but I love, like, when this showed up in my calendar, I said, you know what? I haven't gone live on my YouTube channel in a while. Let's try that. Let's try making that happen. When I see it in my calendar, I'm not like, oh man, I got to do this stupid live stream. Why? Right? If that was my energy, then I would burn out really quickly. But I feel like this doesn't feel like work to me, guys. This is not work. This is fun. I get to hang out with you. It's like I'm meeting a bunch of you guys for the first time. It's amazing. This is fun. This fills me up. I'm going to leave this with more energy than I came in. And you know what I was doing before this? I was talking to Grant Cardone, interviewing him for my channel. I was doing a live for my readers group who bought my book. And now we're here. And I'm going to leave here with more energy than what I had coming in, because I feel like it matters, because I love it. It's fun, right? Whether, again, everybody's here or like 4 people showed up. So that's how you stop burnout. If you're burning out, chances are you don't love the thing that you're doing and you don't feel like it matters. When you can flip that, then it's easy to keep going. And that's how I just kept going. So anyway, thank you for the great question. And let's dive into the slide from Mover Makers. So I'm going to share with you something special. This is the Thought Leadership Success Map. Okay. Now I've spent a lot of time inside Mover Makers talking about this, and I'm going to give you a high-level overview just to start thinking about how do you take the ideas that are in your head, the story that you've got, and turn it into something that can bring people value, that can build your audience, build your following, and turn that into a business. There's a bunch of problems that people have along the way. You might relate to some of these. I don't feel good enough. My story isn't as big as somebody else's. That was one of my biggest things. Like, who am I compared to all these other people? Too afraid to ask for a sale or talk about my business. I'm just a giver. I love givers. You guys are givers. If you're here in this community, you're probably a giver, right? You're probably the one pouring into other people. You are attracted to the content on my channel because it's not negative content. There's no negative video on the channel, right? It's a top 10 rules for success, not top 10 reasons to hate whoever person, right? I'm trying to put out positivity into the world. And so if you like that kind of stuff, you're probably a positive person who wants to pour that into other people. Givers have a hard time turning it into then a business, right? Where you do everything for free. And the downside of that is you're stuck doing your business for free on the evenings and weekends, meanwhile going to the job that you hate, because you haven't turned it into a company yet. And so that's a struggle for a lot of people. And you have to, like, if your goal is to serve and to help and to have a big impact, you have to be able to turn it into something that's bigger than just you on the evenings and weekends. Does that make sense? If you could spend all your time doing the thing, and then you can hire, we've got 37 people on my team now. The collective good that we can do now is so much bigger than Evan part-time side evening weekend kind of thing while working some job that I hate. So I think if your goal is to serve, money is important. It's not your number one. And if your goal is to serve, then it's an obligation to figure out how to turn it into something bigger, how to turn it into a business, how to recruit people to your team so that you can have so much more impact than just you by yourself doing things. Does that make sense? Let's just look at the chat really quickly. The breakup cure. Evan, would you recommend doing a live instead of a masterclass or webinar? Okay, we're going to talk about content formats here. Fonda White in the house. Fonda, how you doing, man? Yes, with triple exclamation points. Andrea says true. Jenny says love the positivity, so refreshing. That's why we're here, Believe Nation. Positively only. Anna says OMG, so right, Evan. Maya says that is my struggle. The breakup cure. I used to be a perfectionist. Seriously, you'll feel so empowered if you let that go. Man, I'm still a recovering perfectionist. I lost a $40 million deal when I was 22 because I was a perfectionist. So I hear you. Zane says, man, I love this session. Detours with Jeff. I missed you yesterday. 2 days ago. Jeff, we were supposed to do an IG Live together. We got to figure that out. Jeff says, I'm going to be full-time by June 30th, I believe. Let's go, Jeff. Let's go. EJ Bassett in the house. Great to be here at the Edge. We got a whole bunch of mover makers in the house already. I see Zane. I see Jeff. I see Edge. Lady Lexi just on the chat right now. Anyway, I'm so excited to be here, says Shay. Love you, Evan, with 3 blue hearts. Thank you, Shay. I appreciate you. Okay, let's talk about content. So this is the type of content for the next little while. I'm going to focus on thought leaders. You want to be a thought leader. You want to be an influencer. You have a message that matters. You want to get it out to the world, and you need some extra help. I've never seen the template of the roadmap, so I made it. This is the roadmap, and again, we've shared inside Mover Makers. If you want to join, there's links below on the website, whatever. You can go join in our next sessions in 2 weeks, but otherwise there's going to be tons of value right here. So let me take one sip. Here's how we start. Okay, here's how we start. 10-minute videos at the top. So the idea here is we're making long-form content, ideally on YouTube, but you can also do Instagram Live. And so you're making long form content that then gets split up into micro content that then creates a lead magnet so you can capture emails, that then you send value emails, that then you send sales emails. This is the whole sequence. Okay. And you know, we've spent hours inside Movement Makers talking about this, but if you can wrap your head around this, and I want to make it clear for you. So I know most of you are seeing this for the first time, so you can pop questions you've got in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer as many as possible. But this is the formula: 10-minute plus videos into micro content, which leads to lead magnets, which leads to value emails, which leads to sales emails. Okay. Now let's break down each one in a little bit more detail so that you can leave with some value. 10-minute videos, YouTube and Instagram. Okay, so I would say if you want to be a success as a thought leader in terms of frequency, you're looking at least once a week making content. At least once a week. Like, you just won't get good at something if you're not doing at least once a week. Michael Jordan didn't go to the gym once a week, right? Like, once a week is bare minimum to get started. And a lot of people are start and stop and start and stop and start and stop, and you're not getting consistent enough. You feel bold and amazing and you make a video, and then, oh, I can't do it, or life gets in the way, or I'm too scared, or some excuse, and then you don't do it, right? Does that sound familiar? Hey, that's me. Tony says, hey, Evan, love your inspiration and transparency. I once sent a thank you and you responded. That was awesome. Hey, thanks, Tony. Glad you could be here. So 10 minutes plus. Idris says, why 10 minutes? Shorts are very popular right now. Not for thought leadership. So 10-minute plus is good for a couple of reasons. One, thought leadership is not fantastic yet for shorts. And this is where you're sharing your wisdom. You're sharing your beliefs. You're trying to shift somebody. The point of this presentation is focused on thought leadership. If we're talking about prank channels, entertainment channels, whatever channels, great. Yes, go for it. But inside of you're trying to shift somebody, longer is better. And I say 10 minutes, but some of our best videos are 1 to 3 hours. Some of the best growth I'm seeing in the category is in the hours, not even 10 minutes, and definitely not 30 seconds. You can get a lot of views off of a short video. It doesn't lead to subscribers very well. It's not monetizable yet. It doesn't convert to email list signups, to coaching signups. It doesn't convert to anything for your business. It has a small chance of you actually getting some views on the video, but not much in terms of growing your channel, growing your revenue, and growing your business, which leads to growing your impact. So I'm definitely not in the shorts bucket. We test. I'm doing 1 short a day on the main channel. We have 2 dedicated channels just to shorts. So I'm always testing this stuff. And inside thought leadership, it is not anywhere close to my recommendation for what to do. If you have extra time you want to spend on it, great. But I'd much rather see you make an extra 10-minute video. We'll talk about why as well with some of this other stuff, but 10-minute plus videos. Okay, now, a lot of people are afraid. You've got that edgy Toronto vibe. Does Toronto have an edgy vibe? I don't think Toronto has an edgy vibe. Canadians are pretty, I guess maybe compared to other Canadians, but I don't feel like Canadians are very edgy. Anyway, so what kind of videos do you make? A lot of people default to thinking, well, I have to make the thought leadership video. I have to speak direct to the camera, and I'm so nervous when I speak to the camera. And again, it's really hard. I mean, that's most of my videos is me just talking to the camera. Even here, it's Nina Carmichael in the house says, I love you, Evan, with 3 exclamations. We love you, Nina. Hey, just quick, I have to side note because it's Nina. Nina's my wife. The importance of having somebody who supports you, who loves you, who cheers you on, who, even if they don't know what to give you in terms of advice, but if you're with somebody and they do not support your dreams, you're with the wrong person, period. One of the things that really helped the growth of my channel, if I scroll up here, this is where I married Nina, right? That's not a coincidence. Having the right people around you, especially a significant other, you can say, okay, parents, maybe they don't support you, don't believe in you, okay. Friends from high school, you can let them go. But like the person you're with, your significant other, if they don't support your dreams, man, you're with the wrong person, and it's gonna be really, really hard to actually get your thing off the ground. So anyway, Believe Nation loves you back, Nina. And of course, you know I do. Okay, so sidetrack. I have that effect, says Nina. Look at Nina. Look at Nina having some swagger here. I love it. I love it. Okay, so thought leadership videos are direct to camera. And that's when you're sharing your message. And I have a whole I have a whole sequence for what a perfect thought leadership video looks like that we don't have time to talk about today, but maybe in a future session, if we do this again, you guys like it, maybe we'll share some of that. But that requires a ton of training. I think that's actually the hardest kind of video to make. I've run 3-day events in Toronto where people flew in to do it, and it still, after 3 days of pushing and me fixing and filming, there's big growth, but still far from perfect. So this is what a lot of people are afraid of, and it's hard. You're in your office by yourself or your home by yourself, and it just feels like you're talking to, you guys ever feel that? Like I feel like I'm just talking to the camera, but when there's somebody in front of me, I do much better, right? Anybody do better when they're talking to somebody? So that's where coaching comes into play. And Lydia, Lexi, and I were talking even just like an hour ago about coaching. And so if you're great at what you do, you're an expert, then let me see you do it. Think about it like this. Whatever you want to make money doing, show me the process of you doing it. So if you want to be a coach, your best videos are coaching videos. If you want to be a coach, don't show me you on a whiteboard sharing some concept. Show me you coaching somebody. And not everybody's going to want to be coached live or coached publicly. That's fine. Some people will. And those are the people that you bring on. And that starts to build your brand and starts to build your credibility as a coach. And other people will say, hey, how do I work with you? I want to hire you. Okay, so coaching. Third is mentoring. And that's now where you're bringing people on and you're working with them over a sustained period of time. So I even suggested to Lady an hour ago, did you like the person that you coached? Because if yes, then you can set up a regular mentoring session with them, again, public for people to watch and see what you do. And you get to follow along the journey as you help them and they grow and they learn and they improve. You're mentoring them to solve the challenges that they're facing in their business or their life. So the difference between coaching and mentoring is coaching is just a one-off, where mentoring is an ongoing sequence. Crystal says, wow, I made it. Thank you for sharing, Evan. Crystal, you made it. Welcome aboard. The Breakup Cure says, I still have to upload my video on how COVID's killing you. Yeah, you should. Like, this is part of it, guys. It's just post. The way to get out of your head in terms of posting content is there's another video coming. Like, this live stream is tons of fun. I didn't know how it would turn out. I'm using new software. I haven't gone live in a couple of years, and here we are doing it. And maybe this becomes a series that I do every week, or maybe I never do it again. I don't know, right? But you put it out there, and instead of hemming and hawing and wondering and worried and stressing, if this was a total failure, nobody shows up, all I get is negative, like, Evan, I hate you, unsub or whatever, or the software doesn't work and it just all crashes. I'm not stressed about it because I'm making more videos for tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Like, as long as you have something exciting that is ahead of you, you spend less time worrying about the mistakes that were behind you, right? So post and keep going, keep creating. Okay, so mentoring. Next is interviews. So interviews are when you're interviewing somebody, right? So before this, I had Grant Cardone. Grant and I were talking about his new venture, and we spent 40 minutes talking, right? I was interviewing him for my channel. So who could you interview? If you love pulling people's stories out from them, then have an interview series on a channel. It doesn't have to be Grant Cardone. It could be anybody. It could be somebody that you actually are inspired by. Make sure there's actually something that you care about, that you want to talk about, right? So Grant's been a friend of the channel for years. And I think one of the things that Grant doesn't get enough credit for is how smart he is with his tax saving strategies. You see Grant and it's the money and the flash and the cars and the jets and all that stuff. And I don't care about any of that stuff. That's not why I would ever watch a Grant Cardone video. I get why people do, but I like Grant because he's actually helped me a lot behind the scenes on a bunch of things that nobody would know about. He's actually a good person, which may surprise some people. And he's really smart at structuring deals. Like, he's legit, really genius at structuring deals. So that's what we talked about. And so interviews, right? Like, bring people on who you genuinely care about and you would have a good conversation with. Okay, next, Q&As. This is kind of like a Q&A. Where you're going live and you're bringing in questions, or people submit their questions. You send an email off to your newsletter, or you go on social media and say, hey, I'm going to be doing some questions. Who has a question for me? This morning I posted to my Instagram of what questions you want me to answer tonight. And I'll just do quick Instagram responses, but those could be longer form videos. All of the questions that you guys have here that I've missed, and I apologize because the chat's coming in a little fast. those could all be individual videos, 10 plus minute videos that I make on a channel, right? Keith says, oh, I love that. I'm a coach and it's never even occurred to me to do that. Perfect, Keith. Like, you already got your aha moment insight. You want to sell coaching. We need to see Keith coaching, not Keith doing a whiteboard video, right? It'll make a huge difference. And more important than that is it's fun. Like, if you love coaching, then coaching somebody is amazing. For some people, it might be the worst thing ever. And I get that. Like, if you don't love coaching, then don't do it. It's not a good strategy unless it's a heartfelt one first, right? Like, lead with the heart and then let your head figure out the rest. You love coaching? Great. Lead with your heart and then let your head figure out the types of videos. Hayut says, is this a live show? It is, Hayut. Hassan, I see you. We love you. Welcome aboard. What about speaking, or is coaching hand in hand together? Perfect. I'm going to get to, oh, I don't even have that. That's interesting. We should. Speaking is great too. Speaking is great. You want to be a speaker? That should be your video. Fonda, like, you want to be a speaker? I should add an extra section here. Speaker. Go do as many speaking gigs as possible and turn those into videos. Yes. Again, whatever you want to make money doing, show it to me. Keith says, and fun. Yes. Thank you. Fonda says, I want to learn how to be a great coach. Oh man, we spent 2 full Movement Makers sessions on how to be a great coach. We might drop a little bit of stuff on this channel. I don't know. We'll see. This is an experiment. You guys having fun? Should we do more like this? We'll see. We'll see. Natalie says, Grant is a great person. Personally met him. Cool. The Fishin musician. Thanks so much for taking the time to help us YouTubers. Awesome. Okay. So, Q&As. BizDev is when you want to do business with somebody. So there's somebody who could be a good contact for your company, could help your business grow somehow, but they may not be well known. It doesn't matter, because just having that relationship really, really helps. So think about who do you want to get to know, who could really help your business grow, and then how can you have them as a guest on your show? Because it's easier to have them as a guest. It's easier for them to say yes to, yes, I'm happy to be interviewed for your show, than it is to take a sales meeting with you. Or just, let's sit down and have a coffee and talk about a potential partnership, right? It's harder for them to say yes to that versus, I would love to interview and get your story out to my audience, even if the audience isn't very big, right? So think about who might be good value for your business outside of just being an influencer, being a thought leader, and interview them for your show. And then the last is document. And document is you're showing the process. So right now, for example, I'm doing a longevity challenge where in 50 days, how many different things can I do to try to extend my life? It was a challenge given to me inside Genius Network. And so I'm documenting basically every day. I'm telling them, turn out my phone. Today's day 22. Here's what I'm working on. And you're showing the journey of you doing the thing. So it's a easier way to make content for some people. And then we'll add speaking. Fine, I appreciate you. We're making my slide even better. So add speaking on here. But again, whatever you want to do and make money on, show me the process of you doing it. Jenny Sanders says, yes, more live, more live. All right, maybe. I'm having fun with you guys, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Fonda says, I'm going to go join Movement Makers today. I'm okay. I'm on board. Awesome. Yeah, and listen, if you guys want to join Movement Makers, awesome. You don't have to join Movement Makers. It's not like a hard sales pitch. I'm sharing some of the knowledge that we share inside Movement Makers. This is me training. Movement Makers we do twice a month. You guys pick the topics. Always around thought leadership, though. Like you're an expert. You got a message you want to get out to the world, and we share how you can do it, as well as connect you to some other awesome people who are doing it too. So there's links a bunch of places, I think, in the chat and the comments, the description, whatever, on the screen if you want to join in, but you don't have to. If you do, welcome to the family. It'd be amazing to have you on board. Zan says, yes, 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 every week, please. Zan, you're in Movement Makers already. You know this stuff. We went so deep on this stuff in Movement Makers. Gotta love Zan. Good people. I mean, most important of all of it is just Movement Makers is more than just, it's family. It's what it is. It's just family. You are not alone on your journey. There's other people who want to do their thought leadership content too, and we support each other. Nina says they are awesome like family. Yeah. Okay. So these are our options for 10-minute content. And if you have questions about that, you want me to dive deeper, you don't understand something, you think I'm wrong, whatever, pop it in the chat. I'll do my best to go through Movement makers rock. It's definitely family. Yes. I love it. There's something exhilarating about the live chat for sure, says Michelle. Yeah, I do. I love it. It's fun. Guys, this is fun. The more fun you're like, we don't have enough fun in our businesses. The more fun you can bring to your business, the happier you're going to be, the bigger impact you're going to have, and just more energized you'll have. People ask, well, how are you so energetic? Because I like what I'm doing, right? If I was an accountant all day, I would hate my life and be the most depressed person. This is fun. So this is a good sign. It's a good sign. Stay tuned. Maybe we'll do more. We can also do more like focus just on YouTube plus, like hardcore. That'd be more about my brand legacy program, the Movement Makers. But okay, Idris is asking, do you mean IG Reels for 10 minutes? No, not Reels. IGTV. Like go make long form content. So you're doing thought leadership IGTV, you're doing coaching, mentoring, interviews. My preferred way is to do IGTV interviews and then turn it into YouTube content. So Grant didn't want to do that today, and that's fine. I had Gary Vee on last week, and we IG live together. So I go live, he joins me, and then we cut it and turn it into a YouTube video. So that's always my preferred way to do it, because then you also get a live community coming in. But sometimes people don't want to do it, and it's really just been hit or miss. We give that as the first option, and some people love it and they're all in on it, like Gary, and others. Grant didn't do it. Matthew McConaughey didn't do it. Deepak Chopra didn't do it. They prefer like Zoom, so it's fine, But you start with IG Live as the option. Evan, you're such a remarkable person. # respect always. Thank you, Natalie. It takes one to know one. Okay, takes one to know one. Everything I'm doing, guys, is all achievable. I'm nothing special, right? I mean, the only thing, go back here, the only thing that I had was I just kept going. All of you have everything that I have. You're caring, you're thoughtful, you have a message, you want to impact the world. Like everybody here wants to have an impact on the world. Otherwise you wouldn't be in this live for sure, and you wouldn't have stuck around for so long. You could just get there a lot faster. I just kept going. That's the only thing that I've got going for me, is that I'm willing to fail and I'll just keep going. And so it leads to incredible results. But now, again, we're just trying to shortcut. If I knew this back here, holy cow, this doesn't even exist anywhere, right? I had to make it. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, can we dive in? You inspire us. Appreciate you. Hello, Drew. Nina's giving a lot of love. Nina's doing accounting right now. That is true. Okay, next. This is more than just YouTube, guys, too, right? Like I want you to build. I want you to be successful and build a business. So YouTube is a great start. Or Instagram live videos, but YouTube is a great start. Ms. Mia, Movement Makers is the best decision I made for my education. Ms. Shine, appreciate you, Ms. Shine. Thank you so much. Okay, so micro content. This is how do we be on every platform? So if you feel overwhelmed, like, I need to be on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok now and LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram Live, like you're killing me. How do I be everywhere? It's so overwhelming and crazy and frustrated. I don't know what to do. I'm stressed out. Like, can you guys relate? And I'm trying to build a business and I'm trying, right? I got family and a job and everything else, right? It feels insanely frustrating. So if that's you, let's solve that. The best way to do that is you're making 10-minute plus videos, and then you're taking the best moments and you flip them into micro pieces of content. Fish and Musician says it's overwhelming. I hear you. I hear you. I mean, this is where most people are stuck. You don't need to go and create individual pieces of content for every single platform. You start with YouTube at the top. This is why also 10-minute videos instead of shorts, because with your shorts, you can't really do this. This one 10-minute video could become 40 pieces of content across all the platforms. Edge says, Evan, you're right. I started YouTube in 2010 and stopped. Yeah, listen, 2010, I only had 100 subscribers, dude. You just keep going. And awesome that you're back and you're doing it, and also Movement Makers. So you take your 1-minute clips. Like in here, maybe you have 3 awesome 45-second to 1-minute clips that you can cut for Instagram, you can cut for Facebook and Twitter. You can take the one-liner that really came out. Thinking about what happened here, what's happened so far. Have I said a couple of one-liners that were interesting? Hopefully, if you're still watching, hopefully I said something that was valuable. Could we take some of those one-liners and turn that into content? Of course, right? Of course you can. So the idea of being on every platform, most of the big people that you look up to, there are some people who've won narrowly on every platform, right? Like there are people who are only on Instagram or only on Twitter, only on TikTok, and they've won by really crushing just that one platform. But most of the people that you look up to, most of the people who had a big impact, if you look at Tony Robbins or Grant Cardone or Gary Vee or Mel Robbins or whoever your thought leader heroes are, they're taking their YouTube videos and turning it into micro content. This is how you can be on every single platform. Okay. Fishin says, I've managed to acquire 700 subscribers in just over a year. Hey, you're ahead of me. I was in my 4th year before I did that. So congrats. Okay. I'm only using YouTube at the moment. YouTube is your best platform. Let me tell you why. It's the only place where your content lives forever. Right. So, all these other platforms here, your content dies very quickly. So in a week, the content's dead. Nobody's looking at your stuff on Twitter from a week ago, let alone 2 years ago or 5 years ago. My videos from 5 years ago are still getting me views on YouTube. And why it's so valuable in thought leadership compared to other categories, right? If you're talking about the upcoming election or the past, like nobody cares anymore about the past election just happened in the US. Who's talking about that now? Maybe some people, but it's not trending, it's not hot, and it's not evergreen. Where inside thought leadership, the strategies that you share, what I'm sharing right now will be valuable forever. These icons may change, right? There's something new that comes out. ZenTube comes out, and that's the place to be now, right? Awesome. These platforms may change, but this sequence, this map will be useful forever. And most of the things that you should talk about are the things that are evergreen that will live forever, so that in 5 years, it's still valuable. The message that you would give to your 19-year-old self, right? That's what we're creating content for. It's still valuable today, and it will be in 5 years and 10 years. So that's why YouTube gives you the best shot of winning. So if you only had to pick one platform, Fishing Musician, YouTube is it. But this allows you to be everywhere if you want to, just by splitting up some of your content, putting it across. Charles says, believe tube. Let's go. We could do it. Mystique Music, your energy and knowledge is priceless. Thank you. Well, I have knowledge in very few things, but I have deep knowledge in those few things. Most things I'm completely ignorant about and know zero about. Ask me about almost anything and I know nothing. But thought leadership and entrepreneurship and salsa dancing and League of Legends and a little Minecraft, I'm certain to get fairly knowledgeable about. MetaTube, says Jeff. Exactly, right? Facebook sucks for organic content. But maybe it becomes a thing. Maybe as we go VR, like, where's VR in all of this? Who knows? Who's going to win on VR? I don't know. But it's still going to be the same thing. Long form content, whatever platform, and then split it up. Like this model will work for everything you do. Just swap out what these little icons are. Make sense? Answer the question you wish someone would answer for you. Yeah, and especially the one from your younger self. Because I'm making content for 19-year-old Evan. There are millions of people who are 19-year-old Evan right now. Whatever you struggled with, think back to the worst day of your life where you felt just terrible as a human, no value, no self-worth. There are millions of people right now who are facing that exact same thing. They're struggling and they don't know how to get out. And in your story, they see hope, they see inspiration, they see wisdom, they see a mentor, they see guidance. They feel like they can do it. And they won't listen to Evan Carmichael, but they can listen to you because you've gone through exactly what they are going through right now. That's why it's so powerful. And we're afraid to share a story, and we can dive into all that stuff. It's a whole other topic. I'm just trying to give you the model now for how to do it. What is the exact length of micro content? That depends on the platform. So, Instagram video will be a certain length. Facebook video will be a certain length. Twitter video will be a certain length, right? You get cut off. TikTok video is a certain length, right? TikTok expanded. You can do 3-minute videos now, but you just have to know for each platform. And that's a Google search away. That's a Google search away, right? How long can a Twitter video be? And it'll say 45 seconds. Like, okay, so you cut it down for 45 seconds. Make sense? Okay, so long form content, these are the different types of content we can make. Micro content, split it up to these different platforms. Let me grab a sip of water. All right, even this isn't enough though. So what we need to do now is create a lead magnet, because this doesn't on its own generate a ton of business. We need to now make this into a business, right? We need to make this into a business. And so what you want to do is take some of your content and think about what are the most frequently asked questions that you get asked and turn that into some kind of lead magnet. And I put a little PDF icon here because usually it's a PDF. It could be a bonus unlisted video. It's basically just something of value. And it doesn't have to be crazy complicated or big or overwhelming that takes you hours and hours or days and days and days to make. Spend a couple hours on it at least, okay? Don't just 20 seconds throw it together. It's got some value in it, but not days and weeks. You're not writing a full book on this thing, right? Just a quick one-pager or PDF or a couple pages or a mini ebook or worksheet. Just something of value that you get asked very frequently. And then you're trading access to that for an email address. So I'm just looking at who's in the house here. So fishing musician. I don't know what if your videos are about fishing or singing or both. Fonda is saying mental health is my topic. So mental health is a great example. Okay, so he's going to make mental health videos. So many options to do. What would the lead magnet be around mental health? You know, the 8 ways to live a happier life. The 8 ways or the 7 ways or the 3 techniques to love yourself more. Like whatever the big things you're being asked, you turn that into a value add PDF. And then on your website, you switch it so that, hey, get access to this in exchange for your email address. And then you mention it in your videos. So Fonda's going to make a video about mental health. Then inside the video, he says, hey, and if you want my checklist of the 8 things you have to do to boost your mental health this year, check the link in the description below. Go check it out. I'll see you there. Right? So you're using the content to then get people into your lead magnet. And this is not just selling, this is value. Like this, spend some time on it. Again, not just a couple minutes, but don't spend weeks and weeks on this. You know that there's value in what you offer, put it together. So in exchange for the email address, you're also giving them incredible value in here, right? Your most common questions. Quantum energy healing, says Vicky. I love it. There you go. See, that could be like, again, your most common questions. You can also use your micro content for that. So all of these platforms, as you're making little pieces of content, can lead to here. What's your bio on your Instagram? It should lead to a link magnet, right? What's your bio on Twitter? Should lead to a lead magnet. Give me something of value. Most people only have some kind of sales pitch, like check out my website. The problem is you're asking somebody to get married before they even know you. So if you're doing check out my website, the likelihood of them hiring you without knowing you is pretty small. But if you give them something for free in exchange for their email that then allows you to build a relationship with them, they're much more likely to say yes, to join you, to be a part of your community, to end up buying something from you, right? So you can have multiple lead magnets. Don't stress out. Don't overwhelm yourself. This is where people get caught. It's like, oh, okay, I can do this one and this one and this one. And before long, you have 80 different lead magnets in your mind. Don't do that yet. Start with one. Start with one lead magnet that is the most broad for people, that covers the most issues that you get asked. And then you can make more with time. Don't stress out about that yet. Just one. In Movement Makers, we're doing a challenge right now. Every month we pick a different theme. Last month's theme was resilience. This month's theme was gratitude. And the homework is you have to make one 10-minute video on gratitude. You have to do 3 collaboration videos with other members of the group on gratitude. So it forces collaboration and gets you out of your comfort zone. You got to start making content. You got to start connecting with other people and share your message with them. And you have to make a lead magnet, because I forced this on Movement Makers because if you're just doing this, it's not enough. Your ultimate goal is to sell your coaching courses, memberships, etc., right? I mean, this is how we fund the dream, to then have more impact, not just about making money, but reaching more people, hiring a team, getting you out of your 9-to-5 job, right? So you have to build the rest of this out where most people don't. So we force it in Movement Makers, where you have to make the lead magnet if you want to complete the challenge for the month. Okay. It was so much fun. At the end of every month, we do a clubhouse together, and we just did one on Tuesday, and everybody just sharing their stories and coming out of their shell. And again, it's hard when you're all by yourself doing it alone, but when you're doing something with other people who are also awesome humans who want to see you win, life gets really good. Everything starts to change. Crystalina, what a name. I love it. Says, these are great ideas. I love your little avatar too. Is that an NFT or just a cartoon that you really like? Anyway, I love the name. Love the sound of challenges to keep you active and accountable. Yeah, this is one of the biggest lessons I learned from Movement Makers. At the beginning, all I did was this, okay? At the start of Movement Makers, all it was this, was me presenting. And I would go for an hour and a half talking on something and answer some questions, right? I love the interaction here. But the connection to each other became one of the biggest value adds. So now I only talk for half of it, and then we have you connect with other people. We do breakout sessions. We're in a group of 5 to 7 people, meeting other people who are just like you in a different part of the world, who also have a big mission. And the amount of partnerships and collaborations and connections and just support that happens often eclipses the value that they get from me in the talk. And hopefully they still like what I'm saying. And then the challenges just takes it up to another level, because you probably know you should do collaborations. You know you should make some content. You know you should do a lead magnet. Coming out of this, like, yeah, that all makes sense. Okay, when are you going to do it? How many times have you learned something? That makes a lot of sense. And then when are you going to do it? Because now other things come up, and other priorities and other people's urgent demands on your time and family and work and everything else, right? And then you don't do it. But when you're doing it together, when somebody's emailing you, say, hey, how about next Tuesday for that collaboration video? Say, okay. You put it in your calendar and it gets done. So the breakout sessions and the challenges have been huge value adds. Whether you're in Movement Makers or you do your own thing and you collect your own people, don't do this alone. It's one of the biggest things that I struggled with when I talked about Nina support, how amazing it's been. At the beginning of my first business, I thought I had to do everything alone. I was too embarrassed to tell my friends that I was struggling. And it wasn't until I realized, oh my gosh, I can't do this alone anymore. And I started having a little bit of courage. And it's harder, I think, for introverts and shy people and givers to ask, right? But you're giving as much too. Giving won't be a problem. Even in your taking, you're giving, right? If you're doing a challenge with somebody, you guys, Movement Makers and people watching here, you know that you're giving, you're pouring in other people. If you're doing a challenge with somebody else, for sure, you're giving into them as well. For sure, you're pushing them, encouraging them, cheering them on as well. And it's just so much easier to do anything big, scary, difficult, hard, when you're doing it with somebody who's supporting you, who's cheering you on, who's putting it in your calendar, who's encouraging you and making you feel like things are possible. So whether it's Movement Makers or something else, get a group, even one person just to help you, to say, hey, I want to do this thing. Will you do it with me? It drastically changes the odds of you actually following through. Anyway, great comment. Thank you. Okay, where were we? Okay, so this is exciting. Is this good? Are you guys liking this? Is this fun? Am I crazy? Are you having fun? Let me know in the chat. The chat's been a little, some questions, but are you watching? Are you doing something else when we're going? Let me know. How can we join the group? There's a link. Movement Makers, if you want to join, there's a pinned comment at the top. There's a link in the description, or just go to the website here on evancarmichael.com/movement. Love this, fire. Yes, it's fun. Loving it. But people say no because they don't believe in you. That's the problem. You're with the wrong people. You're with the people who don't believe in you. They hold you back. They keep you small. They keep you scared, right? You need to be, even just here, the energy that you have here, right? It is amazing. Yay, thumbs up. This is great. Like, the energy here is already different. So being around people like this, imagine if that was more consistent for you. Again, whether in Movement Makers or your own thing, but collecting good people. I have a phrase. I like to collect good people. When I find somebody who makes me feel better about myself, who gives me more energy than I'm just pouring into them, you have to have felt it at some point that somebody gave you energy. It's like, oh, wow, that's what it feels like. For the givers, it's really hard because we're so worried about giving other people value. It's hard to receive sometimes, but it's actually selfish not to receive, right? Because if somebody rejected your gift, it feels like a personal rejection. The best part of giving is that person receives it and says thank you. So flip it. Be the person who could say thank you as well. But it's got to be for the right people. You need to start collecting good people in your life. Anyway, so I can't believe finally I'm here. I'm alive with you. I think Bonham Miff meant to say I'm live, but said I live. I like it. So that's good. That's a bargain for having a one-on-one with you. Oh, so for Movement Makers, if you buy the annual, which is $490 a year, I think, we also do a one-on-one on Instagram together, which I wouldn't even sell for $490. But I want you to win. Like, people who are, here's why. I want to solve the world's biggest problem, right? People don't believe in themselves enough. I recognize in what I'm doing and creating content that it has a broad appeal and it's reaching people, right? Positively only. It's what we're selling. It's what we're pushing. Like, positive content, inspiring content, pushing you forward in a loving way. But I also realize that I can't reach everybody, that not everybody's going to care about how I say it and how I do it or connect to my story. But if I can train you in how to do it, and I see, Posh Notions in the house, and Zan the Man, and Edge, and Jeff, and all these people who've joined Movement Makers, I by training them, they can reach people that I can't. Bonnie's work and anxiety, I can't do the way that she does it. So she's able to reach more people. That helps further my mission. So yeah, if you get the annual and it's $490 a year, you get the one-on-one live time with me. I would never sell that for that amount. Basically, you get it for free the whole year just to have the one-on-one time. But don't just buy, okay, this is important. If you're going to get the annual, don't just buy it just for the one-on-one time for me. Then I'll be upset because I need you to actually show up. The whole point is to show up to the Movement Makers meetings because I want you to get value and actually use it to go off and get your message out to the world, right? So it's happened a couple times where people just hack it. That's not, we're building community here. I want you to be with other amazing people and get your message out there to the world. And again, you don't try to do this alone, whether it's our group or some other group. Just know that your message is valuable and means something. People need you. You can save lives with it. It may not be hitting millions of people yet, but your video might be the difference between somebody taking their life or not today. Let me just share one story. Then we're going to move on in here. I had a woman who, she was in a hospital and she was dying of cancer. And she was going through all this cancer treatment. And every day, the way that she got through the pain sitting in the hospital was she pulled out her iPad and she watched one of the videos from my channel. That was her routine. Struggling with pain, chemotherapy, self-worth, too much overwhelm. And she would watch a video from my channel. And there was one day where the pain just became too overwhelming, too crazy, too like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Pull the plug. I'm out. And her mom was in the room with her at the time. And her mom said, "Who's that guy that you follow on YouTube? What's his name?" Well, and she went and got the iPad. "Tell me his name. I'm going to find a video right now. You're watching it." And her mom went and got the iPad and gave it to her, and she watched it. And she didn't want to end her life. And she told me that story, 4 or 5 years after it happened. And she had never left a comment on my video. She had never written in to say thank you. She had never let me know in any other way apart from, I don't remember how we connected. I think it was a live we were doing together, and she told me the story. And we default to just thinking that we don't matter. We default to thinking that the 20 people who saw our video, that it's not impactful, right? We have this as humans, we just destroy our own self-worth somehow, that because only 30 people saw this video, then therefore we suck. How about default into assuming that for those 30 people, at least one of them, that's a life-changing message for them. That in 4 or 5 years, someone's going to tell you how special you were to them in that moment. Like, how about we default to a little bit of that? And so that's why it's always focusing on who you do have. We're doing this live. We got 230 people live. I love you guys. This is amazing, right? We've had 7,000 people join since we started. For somebody here, I know this is going to be the shift that you need. You might feel the energy. Some people might just feel the energy and get ideas like, okay, that's cool. And you're flowing and maybe you do something. Awesome. I love you. And I know for at least one of the 231 people watching right now that this moment is finally the moment where you decide to take that step, to believe in yourself more, to put out that video, to say yes to yourself, that you want to be in a different spot in a year. That's my belief. I hope it's true for somebody. If it is, then in 1 year, come find me and say, that live you did on YouTube, that was the moment. But I'm at least telling myself that this moment is going to matter and be life-changing for somebody. That's why I'm showing up in here doing it. Whether you join Mover Makers or not, or do awesome. But this video is going to be the difference maker for somebody. So how about we assume that for at least one person, our content really is going to make the difference, right? Burke says, will there be a copy? This is it. No, it's not going to live on after this. This is it. This is the live stream. Come live. If we do it again, people want it again. We'll see. We'll see how well it goes. Kristalina, wow, that was a thought-provoking story. And listen, what am I talking about? I'm talking about entrepreneurship. the stuff you guys talk about is so likely heavier than what I talk about. If I think about Bonnie, who talks about anxiety, holy cow. I mean, the amount of people who will kill themselves because of an overload of anxiety, it's actually life-changing. So just every now and then put on that lens. Try to train yourself that, hey, out of the 30 people who watched my video, for one person, that was even though they didn't thank me today, in 5 years they're going to come and tell me the story about how this one post or video changed their life. Make sense? Okay. Will this be on your channel? This will live on as an unlisted video. I don't know if it'd be unlisted or private. I don't know. It's not going to be a public video for sure on the channel. So next time we do a live, if we do a live again, then make sure you show up on time and stay tuned and ask questions. Okay. So let's you guys are awesome. Let's dive through. Initially, I really had an hour booked, so we're already at the hour mark, but we haven't finished this. So I want to dive in and make sure we leave you guys with some good value here. Okay. Janelle says, yes, today is the day. This video is very inspirational. My friend called me and cheered me for 15 minutes before your video came on. So I know it's an awesome time for me. Yeah, for sure. And keep that friend. Janelle, collect good people. If somebody has done that for you, holy cow, what a gift. And fight to try to spend more time with them. Schedule something in. Schedule a weekly coffee in. Schedule some kind of challenge you can do together. I've seen it enough inside Movement Makers. And just from my own experience and being around awesome people, collect good people. You find someone like that, hold on to them, right? I hold on to Nina. Nina, you're not going anywhere. It's not possible. R says, how do you join? If you want to join Movement Makers, there's a link. Again, link in the chat, link in the description, the link on the screen, evancarmichael.com/movement, and hopefully we'll see you there. We had a session today, so our next session is coming up in 2 weeks, and you get to vote on what we're going to talk about. But it's all within thought leadership, entrepreneurship, getting your message out to the world, right? That's how you join. Let me know if you have questions or if anything's going wrong on that. Okay, let's finish this off. So 10-minute videos, here's the type of content you make, micro content, here are the platforms, lead magnet, PDF. Okay, take a screenshot if you want, because this is not going to live afterwards. Next, value emails, okay? So they're on our email list now. We gave them the lead magnet. First, give them what you told them you were going to give them, right? If you promised them the 8 steps to overcome your anxiety, give them that thing like right away, right? That's the basics. So we always want to deliver what we say we're going to deliver, period. Otherwise, it obviously creates a bad taste in people's mouth. But then here, send more value emails. People just default to selling so quickly. Don't go into selling yet. Give more value emails. The best emails you can share are the ones about your story. So I'd love to see a sequence telling about your story, because for most people, this is the first time that they're ever seeing you. They get on your email list. Great. Introduce yourself. Think about a 3 to 5 to 7 series of emails telling your story, why you do what you do, what you've had to overcome, what your knowledge, your advice, all of that stuff is, so I get to feel connected to you. A lot of people come up to me and say how connected they feel, and like ask me how Nina is and how Timo, my dog, is doing, and all this stuff. Like, I don't even know you. And it was weird at the beginning, but I get it. It's because as you share, people feel connected to you. And even though you don't know who they are yet, they feel like they know who you are. And that's how you actually win. The more authentic and vulnerable and real you are in sharing your story, the more people will feel, oh, did we lose the stream? Is it still going? Let me know. I see myself being cut off. Let me know if you still see me here. Drew says no. You are here. I'm here. All right, it's still going. Perfect. It just went circly on me. Okay. Good. I'm just happy we haven't had any tech issues. This is amazing. What an awesome. It's destined. All this we're putting so much positivity into the world that it has to cheer us on. Okay, so your story, like why you do what you do, the advice you have, make me feel more connected to you and the mission that you're on. That's what's all in here. Okay, these are the value emails. You can also, when you're making the YouTube video with any of these things, thought leadership, coaching, mentoring, interviews, etc., that we already covered, you can link to those in the value emails. So I just did the interview with Grant, right? I could put out an email to say, hey, I just did a one-on-one with Grant Cardone. We talked about XYZ. If you want to go check it out, here it is. You're giving value. I'm not selling anything. There's no promotion. It's just, here's an extra piece of content that I think might serve you, right? So you should have a sequence built up where you give them what you promised them, the lead magnet, and then you're building up an autoresponder sequence of 3 to 7 pieces of content that tells your story, that anybody who's new, who doesn't know who you are very well, it's your chance to not sell them, but to, again, just give them value, love on them, care about them, make them not feel alone, make them feel like you know what they're going through, that they're not struggling in silence all by themselves, right? That's the point of these things. And then from there, you've built up the relationship that then when you have something to sell, you can promote that too. And this becomes an important part of it too, right? Where you have to figure out a way to make money or you don't make money. Even look at how we've done it here, right? So I've talked about movement makers a bunch of times. We've had a whole bunch of movement makers here in the chat who are pumping up movement makers. I didn't ask anybody to join and say, come here and promote movement makers. Any movement makers who have showed up have done it just because they saw the message somewhere. I didn't even talk about this in my session today for movement makers. There's a link at the top in the chat. There's a link in the description. There's a link on the screen where you can go and sign up and join. I've talked about it a few times, but I'm here to serve, to help. Hopefully you got value out of it, even if nobody ends up signing up or joining, right? So it's the knowing that what you do brings value in what you are selling. Anybody who joins Movement Makers, I think, is going to have an amazing experience. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't have even made it, right? I fully believe in the thing that I'm selling. You should fully believe in the thing that you're selling and give so much value over here that whoever thinks they could use that extra bit, they take the next step with you. This becomes the value ladders. There's all this free content that leads to a relationship, that leads to getting into your email list, which then leads to more value and free content. And then you can talk about the things that you have up for sale. If you don't do this part, it's going to be really hard to build a business. And then you're stuck constantly living on the sidelines, wishing that you could have a company and do more of this full time. And more importantly, it's limiting how much you can serve. Like the people who, for me, join Movement Makers end up doing so much good out in the world, much more than if they weren't in the program, right? So I know that getting people in the Movement Makers has a huge impact on the world, on them, but also on the world. So you've got your stuff to sell: coaching, courses, memberships, books, products, services, whatever it is that you sell, right? Don't just make it this giant sales sequence where you're selling. Some people are like, well, if you're on my list and you're not buying, I don't want you on my list. That's not my recommended approach. I mean, if that's what you want to do, awesome. But I'm much more in the camp of, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being on my list. I appreciate you guys being here in this live. Thank you. I love you. For anybody who wants to go to the next step and join Movement Makers, awesome. Well, I'll see you every 2 weeks. Can't wait to do it again. And for everybody who doesn't, I hope to see you on another live or in the comments or in my DMs or come say hi at the next conference, right? It's all love. But some people are ready to take the next step with you and some people won't be. And that's totally cool, but they have to know what you've got. They have to know that you have something that you are selling, of how they can further their interaction with you and take it to the next step. Okay? The Fishing Musician says, I'm definitely joining, but I don't want to leave your live video. The link will still be there. evancarmichael.com/movement. You can get in. I'll see you in 2 weeks. So don't worry about that. So this is the whole thing. This is the Thought Leadership Success Map. Okay? Again, this is the story. This is where it came from. I want you to all get here, but faster. And this is the breakdown where if you can apply this, there's lots of little steps inside all of these. There's lots of frustration and pain points and insecurities and fears and doubts and moments where you're going to be challenged and fight against your comfort zone. Like, this is not easy. Okay? It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. What I wanted to do today was just kind of lay this out so that you at least have a structure to follow, so that you don't feel, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing stuff up there. I don't know how it all fits or how it all works out. This is the model that you can follow to actually start to build a business off of the love, the care, the knowledge, the wisdom, the expertise that you have to try to put your message out there and make the world a better place. So that's my quick overview, and I guess not so quick if we're an hour and 9 minutes in on this, but I would love to turn it over, get more questions, see how I can help. How does this resonate? Anything that doesn't make sense, anything you want me to dive. All of these could be their own 2-hour workshops easily, right? So I know I'm kind of going quick through it, but if there's something that I can ask, I would love for you to, something I can answer, I guess, so that you leave feeling that you have your next steps for what to do. Drew says quick. Yeah, sorry, not so quick. But we got sidetracked and had some fun conversations, and I had a lot of fun doing it. Okay, so what do we got? Pop some questions down, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, Edge says 30 years in the business of selling and speaking, and I credit Movement Makers has impacted my business. I love it. Thank you, Edge. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Daniel says salsa dancing on 1 or on 2? On 1. I could do both, but I prefer on 1, mostly because the music is more upbeat. I like upbeat, guys. On 2 music, for anybody who doesn't know, on 1, on 2, it's where you're dancing like to the rhythm of the song, and on 2 dances to the underbelly, and it's a lot more jazzy. On 1 is a lot more upbeat. I like positive music, so on 1 all the way. How do you create an email list, Evan? Oh, did I lose anything? No, I still see you guys. Okay, how do I create an email list, Evan? Yeah, again, and all of these are so much content we could get into. There's a lot of different providers. I use Aweber. That's my source, but you can use MailChimp. There's lots of different tools and trainings that you can go through to find that. But basically the idea is you have your website, you have a simple opt-in form, and people can leave their email address in return for getting the PDF. Fun is all that matters, says Drew. I appreciate you. The breaking up cure, all this content on one slide. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, this could easily, we talked for over an hour on just one slide. So there's a lot on here, and this could easily be, 10 hours of content or more. Just thought leadership, how to make a good thought leadership video is 10 hours of content. So don't, this is important. The goal of this was not to overwhelm you, make you feel stressed out, and make you feel like you can't do this and this is crazy and you need to have a giant team to do this. If that's how you feel, I apologize. That's not my intent. I wanted to just give you a high-level overview of what you need to do and where you need to be thinking as you grow, so that if we spent an hour just talking about one thing, but then how do I connect it to my business, right? I wanted to kind of give you the overall view of things so that even if you never join Movement Makers, you have some kind of plan that you can follow to start building some momentum in your life. Jeff says fun over money. No fun, no money. I like it. Hannah says turn on your post notifications so you get the email and notified from YouTube. Yeah, if we go live again. I'm feeling the live again. We'll see. I like this. This is fun. Thanks for streaming this. I've got to go. All right. Much love, William. Thanks, Evan and Movement family. Appreciate you. Blessed. Drew, you're so goofy. I like it. LaShandra, thank you because I've been trying to figure this out. This has been a tough journey. Look at my journey. I hear you. It's incredibly tough. So again, all we do, all I do, all you do when you're at your best is trying to share the wisdom, the knowledge, the motivation to help the person who you used to be. I wish that 22-year-old Evan, I guess no, later, 2009, 29-year-old Evan had this, right? I wish I had this because it would have saved me a lot of time, headache, hassle, self-doubt, limiting beliefs. I wish I had Movement Makers because I would have joined, because it would have shortcut my path. So you can get here a lot faster. I don't know where on here you think, you're a success. Is it cracking 5-figure subscribers, 6 figures, 7 figures? But it took a long time, and it doesn't have to take this long. And so many people who I think are even better than me, who have a bigger message or more heart-driven, I don't know, could have gone there, but they just quit. I think a lot of you are awesome, but you'll just quit because you're not seeing the results fast enough. And so that's the intention. And even the intention of this, like, hey, how can I give some value on a live that hopefully gives some value to you guys and helps you? Idris, Evan, important question. At what time is the meeting every 2 weeks? We do every 2 weeks at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So I had it today, just in the morning. So 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's for 85 minutes. So for Movement Makers, so I train for half of the time, and then we do breakout rooms, and we come back and we do Q&As and shares. So you can book it. It's like the first and the third Thursday every month for the year. If anybody's joining. There was the second part to that. Will we have videos on how to start a YouTube channel and how to grow it with the best practices? Yes. So one of the things in Movement Makers is we have a Discord channel where we have all of our past trainings. So I've talked about YouTube a bunch of times. I'm sure I'll do more training sessions on YouTube as well, but we've done 41 trainings. Like I talked about this in Mover Makers, but just a lot deeper. And you can go back and watch all the other 41 trainings to learn. Pick the topic you like, go click on it and learn. All the slides are there. Usually this is one slide, right? A presentation in Mover Makers would be, I don't know, 20, 30 slides. So we're just giving you a little sneak peek here. I like this too. That was awesome. Thank you, man. Andy Perez, do we have tools to make better videos? Hold on. Do we have tools to make better videos and make some kind of content to sell on the Mover Makers? So you're not selling content into Mover Makers. Tools, we did a whole session and training again on tools. I'm not the biggest tool guy. I think a lot of times the tools doesn't matter. I think we often just get too locked up and like, oh, I can't do anything till I have the right tools. But we have done some training on what the right tools are. Drew says 10:30 a.m. Eastern on Thursdays. LaShandra says, how can I use this in combination with getting people to vote? I want to inspire people and get them to understand the power of their vote and get more people to vote. Okay, so the trick for you is going to be, one, how do you make voting relevant in a non-election year, right? So how do we care about voting if you're an American now? What's coming up that you can care about voting? And then inside, you have to find a content format that you love doing. All of these can work, right? But for some people, people lean in on different styles. So which one is going to work for you? Do you like the thought leadership where you're just going to talk to camera and talk about how important it is to vote? Or would you rather coach somebody? Would you rather have somebody come on who's apathetic about voting, doesn't see the value, and you work with them and you coach them on why it's so important, right? Would you rather answer a bunch of questions? Would you rather interview somebody? Would you rather mentor somebody? Would you rather document the process of somebody learning about how to vote, right? These are all different options. Which one is the best? The one that you like the most, right? When you have fun, you're a lot more likely to win. So you could take that theme. Any theme works. And hopefully you have a positive theme, right? We're trying to spread some positivity in some way. So any theme can work. All of these models can work too. The best one is the one that you love the most. When we get to the platforms, these can change a little bit. So, if you're trying to reach a younger audience, you're going to go to TikTok. If you're trying to reach a business audience, you're going to go to LinkedIn. Still start on YouTube and then cut the content for the other platforms. But all of these can work. I just don't know you enough to say you should be doing interviews and not thought leadership or vice versa. Healing vibes. I literally cried myself to bed. I was crying so hard in my tub. I said, I'm not going to do it for me. What's the point? Because I love us, man. Thank you for showing me I'm not running my business as I should. Haters are so real and hard to get rid of. Lots of love, healing vibes, lots of healing vibes. And listen, another thing that may help is just a perspective shift. I actually don't believe in haters. I don't think anybody is actually born a hater or born negative. I think hurt people hurt people. I think anybody who's coming and hating on what you're doing, if you're trying to put out positivity in the world, right? People come and hate on belief. Like, how do you hate on belief? I didn't understand it at the beginning. Well, hurt people hurt people. They don't even know you, but they're hating on you because they are in massive pain in their life. And think about when you've been in pain, when you struggled, when you felt overwhelmed and stressed and anxiety. Think about when that's been really bad for you. Did you always show up as your best self for other people? Were you ever rude to somebody or cut somebody off? You may not have hurled massive insults, but are you always proud of how you show up for other people? Of course not, right? Not me, not you, not anybody here watching, right? And so if the highlight of somebody's day is coming to your video or my video and leaving some kind of nasty comment, what kind of terrible life does that person have? And what it does is it flips the sting. Like, it removes the sting from the words. It doesn't hurt as much, or it doesn't hurt for as long. Because if you know that they're in a really painful point, then it allows you to have more empathy and compassion and kindness towards them. You can still delete the comment if you want. You can still ban them from the channel if you want. But it doesn't penetrate your soul deeply, because you know that at the end of the day, what you're doing is trying to put out positivity, and they're in a really hurtful place right now. And every time I've done that, it just works. It's a mental exercise at the beginning, but it doesn't allow that criticism. Now, if somebody gets telling you, hey, your video should have, like, they might have a good point. They're just delivering it really poorly, right? That can happen too. I made a video that the sound got cut off and people are telling me, hey, it sounds like you're in a toilet. Fix your microphone. Okay. You could have said it nicely, but I get it. The video had bad audio. Awesome. Thank you. We'll fix it. Somebody here who said, I only hear you out of one ear, right? Only one person said that. Or maybe I missed a whole bunch of you guys saying that too. So thank you. I appreciate you. But if somebody said, Evan, you suck. You can't even figure out YouTube and you're streaming with only sound out of one speaker. Awesome. Like if somebody's come with that energy, they're just in a really negative spot. I believe that people are good. I believe humans are built to serve. And everybody loves helping other people out. It's part of being human. But when we are in pain, and most of the world is in tremendous pain, most people are in crazy stress and anxiety, and that's their day-to-day life, I don't expect them to show up as amazing humans. I expect them to show up as somebody who's not proud of themselves. It's like expecting the baby to poop their pants. I just expect that. You expect a baby to poop in their underwear, poop in their diapers. That's what babies do. Hurt people is what they do. So that people need your healing vibes even more if that's the case. You're a shining light, and you don't need a lighthouse during the day, right? You need a lighthouse at night. Your job is to go into the darkness and spread light. I like that. I never talked about that before. See, we just came up with some magic moments, healing vibes. We're doing it. Yeah. And you've got the strength, and you've got the message, and you've got the courage, and you know that what you do matters. So keep going. Wow, such grace shown. I mean, I credit my mom for that. And also just practice, and just maybe I'm Canadian. I don't know what it is. Love you more after this. All right. Well, I love you more, Janelle. Let's go. I love you back. What else we got? Let's do a couple more minutes. What do we got that I can help you with? Posh Notions. Movement Makers. I just realized my video is 25 minutes behind the live point. That explains a lot. Yes. Okay. So if you join late, I guess you can fast forward to catch back up. The breakup cure. I self-sabotage when I was hurting instead of hurting others. Well, sure. I mean, hurt people, but the hurt could be on yourself. That happens too. People who are coming and leaving nasty comments on your videos are not like overwhelmingly happy with themselves at night either. They don't look in the mirror and say, I love you. You're the greatest person ever. This is fantastic, right? They don't. They hate themselves. People look in the mirror and they can't stand the thing that they're seeing back. So yeah, a lot of times the negativity comes on ourselves. Whatever you want to give to the world, you still need yourself. I want to spread belief to the world, right? That's my mission. I still need it myself to be the next Evan. I still need more belief in myself to get to the next step. That just shifted me. Thank you. All right. Divine Doodles by Latin. Awesome. I'm glad that helped. Hey, listen, that's the whole goal. If I go live and I shift one person with one idea, and then you're off for the rest of your life having a positive impact, I think that's a worthwhile investment. DG Studios, your natural ability as a video influencer comes from the authenticity and positive vibes you brought to the table, words of wisdom. Everyone should take to heart and replicate in their own way. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a natural ability. 12,000 videos later, go watch my first videos and see how natural I was. It took a long time, a long time. Edge says, can a free webinar be a lead magnet? Yeah. The thing is, you want to make sure there's always something for people to sign up for. So if this was going to be a lead magnet, it could be, but what happens if somebody signs up tomorrow? Then I need to have something that's going to keep going on. And the thing with, if I'm putting inside of a YouTube video, your video lives forever. So the only thing with a live webinar is if you're putting out a video and you're going to put in the middle, hey, join my live webinar, and then you stop doing a live webinar, but people in 3 years are still watching the video, you're kind of creating a disconnect. So I prefer to have something that's a little more evergreen than a live video. Catch you later. Much love. You must read the book, The Art of War by Stephen. Exactly what Evan is talking about in this book. Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I don't read a lot of, I read books, but I'm super slow. I get my learning more from videos like this. Like I would have loved this. If I had this, show me a video, answer my questions. This like make the thing that you needed. I'm making this live and I'm making Movement Makers because that's what I needed. That's what I wish I had 10 years ago, 5 years ago, right? So if you love audio, then make podcasts. Great. I listen to 0 podcasts because I don't learn through audio only. right? So I'm making visual things and I'm showing up. This is not a recording, right? Because I love the interaction. I love it too much. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Do you know what time you'll be on tomorrow? I need to be there for influencer. If you talk about the influencer thing with Brendan Burchard, I'm speaking on Tuesday. Brendan's doing his own thing to kind of kick it off. So Brendan Burchard putting on an event, influencer. I'm speaking there. Brendan, Tom Bilyeu, a bunch of other people. Awesome people. It's going to be great. And I think I'm on Tuesday. What's a magnet? Lead magnet. You can rewind the video and go watch it. Basically a PDF or a video that you can send people to in exchange for a value email. Be you, not who others want you to be. I like it, Jeff. Janelle says, I believe it more now that I need to get out there and help people navigate the areas of life I already tread and I'm still going through. This is an important day in my life. Hey, Janelle, thank you. That means a lot to me. I mean, that's what we're all after. We want somebody to feel like what we did mattered today, and it's an important day for somebody. Yeah, I appreciate you. That's awesome. And again, this is a really important point. So let me just sip. A lot of times we feel like we have imposter syndrome and we feel like we're not good enough to be the person who talks about this thing, right? Does that relate to anybody? Like, who am I to be the person compared to whoever else is already out there? But this person exists and that person exists. You're still on your journey. You're never done your journey. Every time you take a step up, I was telling this to movement makers today, right? The people who've done the live challenge with us, like the monthly challenge. Okay, you've done the challenge, you've done your collab videos. Now, the people who are the veterans, I want you to go reach back into the movement makers and help the people who haven't done it yet. Help the new people. Don't go and help the same people you just helped. Go reach and help new, because you've grown and you've learned and you've gotten better and you've improved. Now it's time to go back and help others. So you're never done growing. If you're done growing, you hate your life, right? We always want to feel like there's something new and exciting that we're working and building towards, right? Every time that you learn something, you're taking a step on your staircase, you then reach back and help somebody else out too. Pull them up with you. Even though you're not done growing. You're still climbing. You're at step 5. Oprah Winfrey's at step 800. Great. You can teach people how to get to step 4. You can't teach people how to get to step 7 because you're not there yet. Don't worry about that. But you can teach people how to get to step 4 because you're at step 5. And most people are stuck at step 0, right? So imagine you were going back, and one of the exercises I teach movement makers is look at you sitting with you. You've got 10 minutes with you from 10 years ago. There's a park bench. You from 10 years ago are sitting on the park bench. You're going to go and talk to that person. You got 5 minutes with them, right? Okay, 5 minutes with the person from 10 years ago that you were. You think you could help them, Janelle? You think you could give them feedback? You think you could shift her life? You think you could give her a message that she could hear? Right? Of course, because you've lived her life. You know what she's thinking. And so focus on that. Focus on the fact that you can serve, that you can help, that you have a message that matters, and that you can help younger you, and there are millions of people who are younger you, as opposed to thinking, well, I'm not Oprah or Mel Robbins or Tony Robbins or Evan Carmichael or whoever. Right? If you feel like you can help, then you will help. Capitola says, yes, I felt like that. I like it. Lady Lexi says, yes, sir. Fish Musician says, wish we could go to people's channels, links through this chat. Yeah, it is frustrating that you can't. YouTube Live is not a fantastic experience. So this has been really fun. If you're joining Mover Makers, and make sure you check on the side, it says member introductions, and it'll be, or member socials, and it'll show everybody's social channels. So you can join and go follow other people and do it. And or even here, if you find somebody, go look them up and support each other. Just having one person sometimes who says, great video, or I believe in what you're doing, can make the difference between them quitting or then spending another day. Breakup Cure, if anyone here feels like they're not good enough, I'd love to offer a free NLP session. There you go. I like it. The Fishing Musician, man, you're so damn impressively intelligent. Again, only in very few things, guys. This was my life, right? I spent a lot of time figuring this stuff out. So I'm really good at very few things and suck at everything else. So I'm sure if I think we're all Michael Jordan at something. You have Michael Jordan level genius at something. So you're just as great as I am, or better at the thing that you're good at. So it just happens to be a skill that I can use. Eric, can you talk about a time when you overcame an extreme setback on your way to success, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual? So one, I don't spend a lot of time in looking backwards in negativity. But the biggest one is probably when I quit on my business partner. I never had a really big setback on my YouTube career, social media career, thought leader career. I've had lots of setbacks, but nothing is, I don't know, just next. I don't spend time thinking backwards. But when I quit on my business, I was making $300 a month. I had no money. I told my friends that I didn't lie saying I was making tons of money, but I said I was hustling and living the entrepreneur life. And I was isolated. I was alone. I had nobody to talk to. I was working every day, all day, and just not seeing results. And I got to the point where I can't do this. I have to quit. I need to feel like I'm a valuable human, like that the work that I do matters to somebody. And you can get through a little bit of hard work, but it was like almost a year every day just waking up and doing it and just seeing no results. Like we would go to McDonald's every time we sold a client. We'd go to McDonald's and share a large French fries between the three of us because that was what we could afford, right? So when I launched my book, Year One Word, the first book, was my first book deal with Penguin Random House. I went to McDonald's and got a full meal. Not the healthiest celebration, but just a reminder of kind of where you came from. So what got me through it, I didn't want to live with regret. And I think you can use that as a powerful tool. If you're on the fence and you're thinking about, you got a message you want to get out to the world and you want to make content or you want to share, just imagine that you don't. Just imagine that you stay scared. Just imagine that you convince yourself that you can't do it. Now imagine you're 120 years old and you're in the old age home and you're looking back on your life and you said, back in 2021, I could have done it. I had a chance, I could have done it, and I convinced myself that I couldn't. And now I lived a totally different life that I'm not happy with. And you live the rest of your life with regret that you didn't take your shot, right? And I use that as leverage over myself to say, okay, one more day. I got to keep going. I got to keep creating. I got to keep making. And eventually it worked out. But most things will work out if you keep trying hard enough at it, right? We just tend to quit way too soon on things. Must look up Johnny Kim. Okay, I don't know who that is, but thank you for the love. Now it's time to get it constant. Yes, I need help and guidance tools. I appreciate any help for sure. Well, maybe we'll do another live. Again, you can always join Movement Makers if you want. I love it. That was very inspirational. Cool. Thank you. The Diary 5140. Camila still in the house. Camila was on from the beginning. Camila's one of the first people who joined from Italy. She was on like half an hour early. We were chatting. So thank you for sticking through the whole thing. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for being a part of this. I can relate to quitting. I'm trying to get back up. That's it. Again, it's the biggest thing. Like you start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. And I'm deeply passionate about just trying to help. You got a great message. You got something could serve the world. You just need the tools and the people and the energy to keep going. So hopefully we injected you with a little bit of it here today. Sending you lots of love. It's been 3 months. Okay, I don't know what that was for. Any advice to deal with perfectionism? If you're a perfectionist, it's because you're scared. You're not a perfectionist. You're just scared. You're scared that you're scared that somebody will see it and judge you. You're scared that somebody won't see it and your message doesn't get out there, right? We're scared of people seeing it and we're scared of nobody seeing it at the same time. How messed up is that? You're scared. And so every time you catch it, you have to go do something about it to teach yourself that being scared is not a good enough reason. That often we hide behind a label of perfectionism as a good thing. It's not. You've been sitting on your idea way too long. If you don't suck at the start, like your first thing is supposed to suck. Think about how inspiring you're going to be if your first video is fantastic. People will look at you and say, but look, you were great out of the gate. Like, no, you waited too long to get it out there. Expect to suck at the beginning and then keep moving forward. Just catch, what is that fear? What are you so afraid of? And the best way through fear is through, right? You can't just talk yourself out of it. You got to actually create, you want to conquer the fear. You have to go through. I'm nervous and scared every time I step on a stage. And I remind myself that I'm not even here for me. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve. I'm here for the audience. I'm trying to help. And that gives me the courage to get up and go do the thing. because naturally it just be at the back. I don't like events. I don't like talk. I love helping people, but I don't like small talk, and I don't like networking events and that kind of stuff. So you're just scared, and now it's time. It's time to not let that fear win. It's won for too long, and you're ready for growth. Well, you're right. I'm scared. Yeah. So it's just not letting fear be a good enough reason now. Like we've conditioned ourselves that fear is a good enough reason for you to stay small. It's not a good enough reason anymore. Not anymore. Not for you. Not now. You jump into fear. So I have 3 trigger words: scary, difficult, hard. If I say those 3 things, I have to go off and do it, because I don't want to be the person who accepts those scary, difficult, hard words as a good enough reason for me not to do the thing. Because everything you want in a life is on the other side of scary, difficult, or hard. And as long as we accept those as logical reasons for ourselves to play small, you'll never go off and accomplish your goals. Will this be live? Will this live be online until tomorrow? It'll be unlisted until tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it after this. This has all been a fun experiment. It's all been a fun experiment. Janelle, catch the fear and go through it. Amen. Yeah, through. The answer is through. You do difficult things. Capitola, I'm afraid it may actually be good. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, right? We're afraid of success, and that we are amazing inside to get that message out in a way. It is being used as a tool for self-growth. Yeah, I mean, we're scared that we're going to suck, and we're scared that it's going to be really good. It's crazy. And as a result, we just stay stuck. Move through. Hard-hitting question, tacos or pizza? Pizza, man. Pizza. I mean, I don't eat either of them. I'm fasting. I don't eat until 6, so I have a black coffee in the morning and then water, and then I eat from 6 to 8. So I don't know what's for dinner, but not a heavy carb meal. It's going to be a lot of veggies, something healthy that Nina put together. But pizza, if pizza were healthy, I could eat pizza every day. If pizza was a healthy food, I could eat it every single day. Pizza all the way, says Drew. And Drew does Taco Tuesdays, so it's good that he's doing it. Will I be able to rewatch the video again in the future? Maybe. Keep the link for sure, because you won't find it anywhere else on my channel. And I don't know if we'll keep it unlisted or private. Life makes everything possible. Believe in the life of ours. I love it. Okay, The Cure. How do I find you? Do you have a YouTube channel? Nice. I love the connection. LOL. Fair enough. Sounds good as well. You must be starving, Evan. No, I'm not starving. I'm actually pretty full. You get used to it. My first fast, I struggled so much through. And then my first 24-hour fast, I at 21 hours, I had a giant fever. Just wasn't having electrolytes. Like, you have to drink water, and have sea salt. You'll be fine. And then your body just gets used to it. So my weekly, we're going tangent, but my weekly is 6 to 8. I eat, and then so it's a 22-hour fast every day, and then on the weekend it'll be a 46-hour fast, and then back into it. Karen, wow, Evan, you're killing me. Tacos. That's it. Karen is out. It's like, no, forget Movement Makers. That thing sucks. If you're a pizza person, I'm out. I love it. Please keep unlisted. Full online, says Fish Musician. All right. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Stay tuned. But watch it back. More important than watching it back in the future is go do something, right? Like we've talked about a bunch of stuff today. Hopefully there's one thing, right? You don't even have to take all of this. Just take one thing and apply it and watch your life start to change. The biggest thing for you mostly is just missing momentum. It's just missing momentum. So you don't have to watch this back in 3 weeks. Take this, screenshot it, and then go take some kind of action on it. I love your dedication for your health, Evan. Yeah, I mean, I want to live a long life. I want to be 120 years old and still doing this, right? I'm going to be VRing into your home or whatever the new technology is going to be out there, but still spreading belief. And if you're not excited to keep doing it until you're 120, I think you're doing the wrong thing. So I'm going to shave my head. All right. Welcome to the club. It's great. Welcome aboard. Be amazing. Thank you so much. I saved the link. All right. This helps so much. Thanks. Ha, ha, ha. All right. Cool. Well, guys, thank you for the love. It's been amazing. My throat is starting to burn up a little bit. I scheduled an hour, and it's been an hour and 40 minutes. So I appreciate you guys. This has been my first live in a couple of years, and it's been super fun. And we may do it again. Open to topic ideas. Maybe we'll do one just diving into YouTube and doing some channel audits. I love doing that too if you want. And again, if anybody wants to go deeper, Movement Makers is linked up everywhere here. We train every 2 weeks. You train with me, and you meet some amazing humans. And it's this energy, but plus, because we get everybody on video, and you get connections and collaborations and everything else. So love to have you join if you want. Otherwise, take the lessons in this and do something. Like the best gift that you can give me and yourself is to go do something about this. Thank you, Evan. Please keep doing live videos. Thank you. Totally enjoyed your live. All right, awesome. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to take your love and energy and pour it into the rest of my day, rest of my week, rest of my weekend, and I hope you do too. Again, I hope you take there's energy we created here, guys. We manufactured energy together in this, and now it's, I think, your responsibility to give it out. Go give it to somebody else, whether it's one human, whether it's your husband or wife or friend, or whether it's video content that you're making. Just give the light off to somebody else, and we all do that. We'll see the ripple effects throughout the planet. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Hope to see you again. Continue to believe, and much love.